Hello, welcome to today's professional development leadership team. We all asked you here because you are the heads of your departments. We want to get you first as far as handing you this information. First, let's go over the agenda. I really just want to, we've already done our sign-in, but I really wanted to go over the survey results quickly and then address some of the needs that were revealed throughout the survey, like our needs for the 4Cs in the 21st century, as well as the ESL, ELL assistive technology that we need. Okay. The EdTech definition is something that was also given in the survey, and with this one with a bunch of jargon, and then with this one that's a little more simplified. Even with both of them, all of the majority of you pretty much still said that we were not following either one of the definitions. And if we go back to the first one, it's the study and ethical practice of facilitating learning and improving performance by creating, using, and managing appropriate technological processes that really relate to efficient growth of the communication, collaboration, innovation, and critical thinking of all involved. However, like I said, a lot of us said no to that, and to put that in smaller terms, that just basically means, as this video that was from the survey, that we went from this type of classroom with the chalkboard to more of this type of classroom where the students are far more involved in getting their hands on more information. But as you can see from the survey, as far as the traditional one from the AECT, a lot of us said no. And then when I gave my own personal one, we were kind of cut half and half. And a lot of you emailed me and let me know that that's because of the creativity or innovation aspect. You feel that we do not do that. Okay, and I tried to get each one of you, like I said, the heads of the department, and I included the Spanish heads and the SPED heads for this. Okay, and then as you can see, 50% of us do not consider ourselves a tech-savvy school, which is an issue when it comes to education technology. Do you feel that we have a variety of hardware and software? Again, a large number of you said no, and you also said no to it being easily accessible to the students. And as far as the condition goes, we were still kind of on the lower end of it being either outdated or up to date. We were either in the middle or closer to the outdated section, which again is a problem for EdTech. And then when asked who needs more or updated technology-based resources, half of you said both the teachers and the students. And then there was a video we watched about the 4Cs for collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity, and you were split in half as far as whether or not this is being showcased in our core classes. But again, a lot of you pointed out that it's the creativity aspect. So then we watched the video of the SAMR models, and then a lot of you, as you can see, feel that we need the most help in modification, substitution, and redefinition. But I think the substitution one and all of the above, and I think the substitution one may have been an issue because a lack of understanding of the model. When it comes to the Horizon report that talked about digital literacy, the majority of you said we are not providing authentic learning experiences. We are not getting the students digital citizenship ready for when they leave school, and that our faculty is not. You're kind of split half and half on whether or not our faculty was prepared technologically to complete what the Horizon report was saying. And then as far as as the assistive technology that we offer, many of you pointed to visual impairment and ESL, which is why those are the two we're going to focus on today. And then given the information that was brought to our attention, a large variety of you said that you are the last to learn anything about the technology use plan, which is funny because you are the first to kind of notice it. And then a lot of you said the digital divide exists the most among students with internet access availability and with personal computer availability. And the majority of you said that our school tends to focus on the assessment aspect when it comes to technology, when you feel that we should probably focus more on the learning and teaching aspect. But let's talk about the 4Cs for a second. The curriculum that we have does follow in each division does follow the communication, critical thinking, and collaboration aspect of it. However, I think that we could go deeper in the collaboration, and many of you pointed out that the creativity section is where we need the most help. You know, the idea generation, the idea design and refinement, openness, and courage to explore. Our students are lacking in that particular division. So let's talk about the Bloom plus SAMR model. We have all been using the Bloom taxonomy model for years now, but one thing that I know is not prevalent in our school is the SAMR model. And really, if you look at this wheel, it's just making sure that Bloom's is being held to the standard in each part of the process of learning. And to just further elaborate on that, the substitution and augmentation section are doing what we've always done, but with technology. So instead of, the paper, they're typing. Whereas the parts we actually need help on are the modification and redefinition, which is doing what can't be done without technology. And that's when you get that redesign, and that's when they get that hands-on learning and that ability to be creative. Which brings us to this particular model. So we have the modification and redefinition section. Now this is a model for the iPhone apps, and as you can see, there are multiple apps that the students can use on their phones. Many of these are also a part of the Google Play Android store too. But when we get to the modification section and the redefinition section is when we really dive into the technology that allows significant task design and that allows for creation of new tasks that are not possible without technology. So if we look at this particular example, the APPSmash I did for one of my graduate studies. This would be an example of using the SAMR model because it's called an APPSmash. And if you see here, instead of writing a paper, we actually did a blog style presentation of our ideas, and then we used a bunch of apps to create one particular product. So instead of the students having a typical poster visual aid, you can have them do an APPSmash to create something of this sort. This here is from ThingLink, and I use my collage, which is an app on my phone, to create the collage, and ThingLink to make sure that I could create my visual aid. And here I pretended to be a student who was given the task of creating a digital interpretation of Romeo's tragic flaw, and explain why Romeo is at fault for everything that happened to Romeo and Juliet, and also provide a summary. And these are the different things that I used for that. So we used the blog to give the presentation, ThingLink to give the visual aid, and then to give a further part of the product, we use the Blabberize, which they can conduct on their phone or on the internet itself. So that's one particular example. But we can't forget about the digital divide, even if we want to use the SAMR model, because as the Pew Research from 2016 shows, lower income Americans continue to lag behind in technology adoption. The majority of them that make less than $30,000 incomes a year have more smartphones than anything else, but everything, regardless of popular belief, everything cannot be done on the smartphone, and then we have a growing share, and that's why we have a growing share of low-income families who have smartphone-only internet use. And so you have to keep that in mind when you come up with these SAMR models. But that's because that's when we bring up the impairments, because with the digital divide, that does cover all of the students, but you also have to consider the impairments of some of the other students. So an example of an SAMR model with an impairment AT would be having students or creating a Hyperdoc for your students to engage in teaching themselves about certain categories of your classroom. Again, this is one I did in a grad school technology class that really just revamps the entire WebQuest idea, makes it far more interactive than it used to be. There's the use of hyperlinks, there's less questions, and it's less of of just typing it into Google and finding the answer. The students are actually watching videos and things of that nature. So this would be an example of that. You want to make sure, notice how there aren't that many questions on here. It's just more interactive than anything else, so that when they get to the reflection section of things, you can have them, they will have a stronger confidence in saying that they understand, because they can always go back to the hyperlinks and review different things. But one thing this particular Hyperdoc does also talk about is the options that phones offer when it comes to utilizing information for assistive technology. So that would bring us to these particular apps. Okay, so with visual and ESL impairment AT, there are a couple of free things that we can utilize to help our students. And the reason I picked the free things is because of the digital divide that exists. The majority of our students do have cell phones, and if not, we do have access within the school to help the students get access to the assistive technology that they need to use. So I'm going to show you a little screen recording I did with an app on my phone called Lollipop. And I'm going to show you how to get to your phone settings, show you about the ESL translator app, the Speaking Pal app, and the Be My Eyes app. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to start here. So we went into the accessibility, we went to the settings and then went to accessibility in the phone. And as you can see, I'm going through the different things here. We have vision, hearing, and text-to-speech. In the vision, you can get voice, the students can get voice assistance and get voice labeling, and they can have it zoom in for them. So that's how they would be helped in that regard. You have the hearing, and same thing. They have they can turn it on to get hearing aids, get a sharper quality. There's sound detectors that can let them hear when the doorbell rings, and also you can get subtitles for the hearing impaired. And I think I'll click it here so that you can get a view of that. And so this is how the pictures would show up. Any pictures that they come across in Google that could help them. And again, this is just a part of the actual phone. And then of course we have your regular text-to-speech. You can't hear it, but they can do the speech rate and the pitch to have it go where they would like for it to go. So let's skip ahead a little bit here. After that, we go over to some of the apps in my phone. The first app we go to is the Translator app. Now with the Translator app, it actually will translate words that you type into it into Spanish or any language that you want to. But you can also speak using the little microphone here. You can speak into it, and it will translate it to the desired language. Here, that's an ad because it is a free app, so you have to make sure you get out of those. And there, it switches it for the student. So if you speak, and I think I say, "Hi, I'm your teacher. Hi, Miss Washington," or something like that, and then it will change it to the desired language for the student, and then both of you will have the information that you need. Okay. The next app we talk about is the Speaking Pal. Now in this we do actually, there are only 3 free options, and the rest you have to either unlock or buy. And we went to the library option. They give a little interactive thing where the students get a little bit of English about exchanging a library book, and the text will come down here. And what this and it goes through, and it's about a minute long. And then the students actually, once they get through it, they get it translated here into their native language, and then they do a series of different exercises to help them, and once they get 3 stars they can move on to the next one and unlock the next thing. And for the visually impaired, we have Be My Eyes. Now with Be My Eyes, it actually uses volunteers to help the blind students get through different things in life. And they actually have a volunteer center from all over the world that speak multiple languages, and it'll show the volunteer what they're looking at, and the volunteer will let them know what's going on there. Okay, and that has been my presentation for today. Now is our Q&A session. Please raise your hands if you have any questions for me. None? Okay, well, I have sent this presentation to all of your emails. Please, if you do think of anything, just shoot me an email and I'd be happy to work with you one-on-one. Thank you so much for attending. Don't forget to make sure you sign in so you can get your CLUs for this particular workshop. Thank you. Have a great day.